Montana is home again this week, hosting Sacred Heart out of Fairfield, Connecticut. With us today, we've got running back Stevie and safety Diezel Wilkinson. And we'll start with Coach Hauck. Coach, your final thoughts after a big conference win for the Grizzlies as we head back into non-conference play against Sacred Heart.
All right, thanks, Eric. First, wrap up the Cal Poly game. That was a great team win for us. It was a good job by our guys. It was a fun game, with the copper and all, and coming from behind and getting a good win. So very excited to get that one. I was impressed with our defense, just our tackling, our effort, all those things that they did on Saturday. So it's also a great job by our offense, kind of hanging with it and just making it happen as the game wore on. So it was good. Moving on to this week's game with Sacred Heart. We know a little bit about them. We know they're independent this year and they're moving to the CAA next year. Coach Nofri is the same. It's interesting. He's got the same number of years at Sacred Heart as I do here at Montana. He's in his 14th season there. So a lot of experience there. They know their program. They know what they're doing. They rushed for 350 last week. It was kind of eye-opening. The running back's lightning fast. He rushed for almost 250 yards last week. It was something. So kind of waiting for something to happen every time he touches it. It's a big play waiting to happen. They're 5-2. I'm sure they're looking at this season and sitting at 5-2 at this juncture. I would imagine it's probably a question for them, but I imagine they're thinking that they can get a at-large playoff bid if they continue to win at the rate they're winning, and I'm sure that they're looking to make a statement win by coming in here and getting us, so we better be ready on Saturday.
Questions?
Diezel, you guys four turnovers, 4 picks on Saturday. What went into that? What were you guys seeing well, and how big of an impact do you think forcing turnovers has just on winning football games?
I mean, the turnover ratio is a big part of every football game. I think going into the game, we were really confident. Coaches put together a good game plan for us, so we just wanted to go out there and play fast and play free, and it definitely showed up on Saturday.
Stevie, you guys had that 96-yard drive Saturday where you backed up way deep, then you had the big catch to sort of open it up. What did you see on that? How much breathing room do you think they gave you guys?
Gives us a lot of room. Our offense has a lot of weapons everywhere on the field, so it really just matters about getting the balls into those players' hands, giving our offense a chance to go score. Our defense was playing lights out, so it's all about us just offensively getting an opportunity just to go show out what we can do and go score for the defense, since they played a shutout second half. So it's all about us just going in and putting points on the board for us.
Coach, you've seen a couple teams in the Big Sky now. How does this Sacred Heart team stack up with just in your preparation so far?
You know what? I haven't watched enough to I don't ever think of it that way, so I wouldn't know how to compare them.
You mentioned
I know they play pretty well. Lehigh's in the top, whatever. I don't know what the rankings are. You guys watch that stuff. I know they were in the top 10 last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
They matched up pretty well with that.
You mentioned the running back. What makes him hard to deal with?
He's fast. He's got a good change of direction.
He's kind of small, right? Did you notice that on film?
Yeah, he's not very big. I don't know what he's listed at, but he's
Like
he's not a big guy now.
Yeah. Is that? Do you think that's the strength of their offense? Is just running the ball?
Well, it has been at times. The quarterback can run as well, and then they run the RPO game well, which those three things all tie together.
Coach, when you're in the midst of Big Sky Conference play and then it's flipping to a team, it's about as far away from here as possible, not a lot of crossover. What's the challenges of that? Does that present when there's a lot of familiarity with some of these teams, and you switch to a team you haven't seen before?
Well, it's odd, certainly. I don't ever remember encountering this any place. But if you look around college football, I suppose the SEC does it every year, like the week before the last game, where they have a non-conference game scheduled, a lot of them. So it's unusual, but not unheard of, and it doesn't really matter. The games are where they're scheduled, and you go play them. So gives you guys something to talk about, I guess.
We need that for sure. As far as, at the end of this last game, Geno Leonard had an interception. He's been kind of one of these guys who's a leader. He's from Missoula. What has he meant to the program over the last several years? And, to see him get a moment like that, what was that like for you guys and start with your coach?
Well, good for Gino. He's a guy that's stuck with it. He's persisted through injury and a variety of things. Obviously, he's a kid that I love, and so do all his teammates and his coaches. So a lot of that's because of who he is and how he's tried really hard to work his way onto the field, and he's become a good football player. Certainly, watching him get that interception to seal the game up last week was fun.
Diezel, similar question for you, just working with him on that side of the ball, just being a new guy this year, but working with a veteran like Gino, who he's overcome some adversities and things like that, and he's been a playmaker this year. Just what has he meant to, that side of the ball in this team this year?
I mean, definitely he's one of our leaders on that defense, on and off the field. He's a great guy to hang out with in the locker room, great guy to play football with. He works super, super hard, and I'm glad it's showing out for him.
6 games through the season for you guys, coaches talked throughout the year, the defense is gelling, it's a lot of guys kind of learning to play with one another. So just from your perspective as a newer guy, seeing this group come together, just such a big game against Cal Poly, how would you describe the halfway point of the season and how things are working on defense?
I mean, yeah, just like any other team, the more games we play, the more we're going to start clicking together. Definitely going through spring ball and fall camp together has helped a lot. So now that we have some games under our belt, I feel like it's only going to go up from here.
And Stevie, the offense has had a couple of games where it's like, start fast, or this last week, was kind of struggling a little bit scoring, and then the second half things kind of took off. What does it say about this group? You guys can adjust, or, there's no one getting freaked out or anything. You guys kind of stay with the path and it still pays off.
Yeah, it just shows for us, no game's too big or too small. Just shows offensively we have what we need and what we can do, but we just have to put it all together in all 4 quarters of the game. We always will have a game we start fast, or we have a game where we finish out in the second half, but still shows that we have our best football still ahead of us, and we still have a chance to go play a lights out full game, and we still have yet to show that too.
Yeah, Coach, kind of playing off of that, you guys have outscored opponents at a pretty incredible rate in the second half. What do you think has gone into that, and thoughts on maybe trying to blend that as much as you can moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's probably a multitude of things. I mean, I don't know. Whoever was sitting next to me on Saturday after the game, I think it was Eli, brought it up. We practice that way. We train that way through the years, so I think we're conditioned to play for 4 quarters, and it is a 4-quarter game. I do think that our guys are smart football players, and you combine that with an experienced coaching staff that can tweak the game plan as need be at halftime, and smart players that can handle adjustment. I think that helps.
Diezel, from the player perspective, how would you describe the demeanor of the team when things maybe aren't going how you want in the first half, and how you guys are able to have finished the game so strong?
We're always positive, just like Coach said. We practice situations when we're down in the game. So going into halftime, when we're down, we never have a negative thought in our mind. We're just going to go out there and keep fighting.
Coach, defensively, anything from Sacred Heart stand out?
It's interesting. We don't know exactly how they're going to play us, and nor would I tell you what I thought, because that would tell them. They've got good people in their core. They've got, if you put on the end zone view of their film, they're best players, in my opinion. Premature evaluation here a little bit, but they are in the core of their defense, and so they're good safety lined up over the ball, a good linebacker lined up over the ball, and a good D lineman. So they'll be strong inside out on defense, and they look like a tough football team to me. Chase the ball, tackle, do all the things that good defenses do.
6 games in, what's an aspect of the team or program as a whole that you've been very happy with?
I don't know anything in particular. I think we kind of are who we are every year. Team that works at it, improves, plays hard in all 3 phases. But I don't think that's unique to this team.
Is there something specific after 6 games that, if you could improve upon that one area, you think you're being a pretty good football team when it's all said and done?
One specific thing? No, I think it's kind of just generally keep working at it.
Anyone else?
Coach, by the time Saturday hits, we'll be approaching late October. I was curious if you noticed just any benefits from only having to go on the road once this year, with a lot of home games early in the slate.
I know the budget guy likes it better. Beyond that, you know, it's sort of like, I think Sean asked the question earlier, or Kyle, I can't remember which one, but, you know, you plan where they're scheduled. It's just what it is.
I think this would be your bye week if you guys had played week one. Feel like you guys would want a bye week right now, or do you like the fact you just get to stay on that regular weekly schedule and maybe keep building momentum going forward?
I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna get redundant here, but you know, the schedule's the schedule, right? 12 straight's hard a little bit without a breather, but the other side of that coin is sort of what you're alluding to, Frank, is that when you're rolling, it's nice to try to stay rolling. So, I don't know. Kinda is what it is, right?
Just want to get your thought. The NCAA last week just changed the transfer portal
Thank God.
when the window is. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so now we go from 4 recruiting and signing periods to 3, so thank goodness. Budget guy will be happy about that as well. Yeah, I mean, for us to be the only sport that has 2 transfer portal windows was ludicrous, and thank goodness they got that straightened out. You know, there's been a lot of debate on over when that portal window or where that portal window should be located in the calendar, but it is where it is now, and we'll make do with what it is.
Thanks, everyone.